Hi, good morning, all of you. So, in the previous class, we discussed about magnetic field produced by a moving charge, and that based on that, we already that means we also discussed about force between the magnetic force between the two charges, right? And now, in today class, let us see the magnetic field due to these current carrying conductors. So that means if a single moving charged particle is producing the magnetic field means from that we can also conclude that definitely this current carrying conductor should produce the magnetic field, because current is flowing through the conductor is nothing but a group of charged particles are flowing inside this conductor there, right? And so that means definitely some more field we may expect from the current carrying conductor there. So let us see the expression for this magnetic field due to this current carrying conductor, right? So that is generally it was proposed by the Biot and Savart. That means they gave an expression for magnetic field due to the small current carrying element, and so that we call that as a Biot-Savart's law, right? So it's an important in this topic, and based on this almost that means based on this Biot-Savart's law, almost 90% of the problems in this topic will be based on this Biot-Savart's law only. So listen this carefully. So that means now it gives an expression for a magnetic field due to a current carrying conductor. Like suppose if you are taking any conductor here, conductor of any shape you may consider. Now let us consider a small element here. Suppose this is the DL element here I am considering. Now from this the magnetic field, suppose a current I is flowing through this wire here, this wire of some arbitrary shape. And so now we are going to find the magnetic field at this point here. So this is some R here or R bar, and this makes an angle theta here. So that is a magnetic field at this point P we are going to discuss now, right? So now this Biot-Savart's law states that the magnetic field due to this small element will depend on these different factors here. So that is directly proportional to this current, how much current it is flowing through this, and is directly proportional to this length of this element what we are choosing there, and is directly proportional to the angle between this length element and this r bar here position vector, and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, right? And so that we can write this as, so dB is directly proportional to I and is directly proportional to dl, length of this element, and is directly proportional to sine of angle between this dl bar and r bar, and is inversely proportional to this r square. So that means these are the factors affecting that magnetic field there, magnetic field produced at any point P due to that small element. And so that you can combine them and you can write this as so dB bar is equal to, that means dB is equal to, you can write this as ideal sine theta by r square, right? So here we introduce a proportionality constant. As I said in the last class for a point charge, here the proportionality constant in magnetism is mu naught by 4 pi. So therefore this dB value we can write this as mu naught by 4 pi into ideal sine theta by r square. So this gives the magnitude of this magnetic field produced by this current carrying element. So this is the current magnetic field due to the small element here. So that is nothing but we call now Biot-Savart's law. And it's actually it is nothing but we can derive it from this, we can prove this from the magnetic field due to the point charge what we discussed in the last class, or even if you substitute that that I value and dl in terms of the dl, and if you are replacing that I value in terms of the velocity, drift velocity, you will get that expression only. Point magnetic field due to the point charge and it contains n number of charges, then you will get magnetic field due to those n number of charges. All those are derivations are not required for us. So just you can propose directly this Biot-Savart's law like this. So just to mention that according to Biot-Savart's law states that magnetic field due to the small current carrying element, the magnetic field due to the small current carrying element is proportional to, mention all those factors, and this is a proportionality constant here. If any other medium is there, then we write the mu value here. Permeability of that medium we need to write here. This is the permeability of this vacuum we are writing here. And in general, if the relative permeability they will give there, that means here in terms of the relative permeability you can mention this as this thing is similar to that of our permittivity in electrostatics, in Coulomb's law, what we discussed there. So that means in any medium, if you want to write, we need to write this as mu we need to write, and that mu value we can define it as mu r. So that means here this is mu naught is equal to, we can define it as permeability of free space. Permeability of the free space, and here we can define this relative permeability as mu r is equal to, it is the ratio of permeability of the medium to permeability of this vacuum. So this is the permeability of the medium and this is the permeability of this vacuum. Right, that ratio is nothing but we call relative permeability, and therefore permeability of the medium we can express it as so mu is equal to mu r into mu naught we can write here. That means at this time it is not required. Generally in case of when we are discussing about, later we discuss like solenoids there, and there we need to use that that thing there. That means permeability of the medium they will give. That means, or it is required, then we can express like this. So as of now, due to the current carrying weights directly, then they will ask in a vacuum only. So then directly we can write like this, right? So this is in case of magnitude of magnetic field with a small element here. Now if you want to express this in vector form, this can also be expressed in vector form here. So in vector form we can write this as, that means this expression here. So in vector form, you can write that in vector form as dB bar is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into ideal bar cross r bar by r cube. So observe this carefully here, ideal bar cross r bar by r cube. As I said in the previous point charge formula, if you are writing r cap here, then you will get only r square, right? So that means mention that also, or dB bar is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into ideal bar cross r cap by r square. So that means if you are writing in terms of cap, only r square you will get. If you are writing in terms of r bar, then you will get like r cube you will get here in denominator. So that means you should observe that carefully there. And now that is magnetic field due to this small element here. And there the important thing here is ideal bar. That ideal bar is nothing but, now we call it as a current element. We are taking that as a vector quantity here. The ideal bar we are taking as vector quantity. Current itself is a scalar quantity. Now that ideal bar we name it as current element here. So that means here the ideal bar is called current element. So this current element is a vector quantity whose magnitude is that means whose direction is same as that of this current direction here. That means if current is flowing along this direction, then dl bar we need to take along the same direction here. So that means its direction is taken as in the direction of this current, and its magnitude will be the product of I and dl you will get, length of that element there, right? So that means mention that current element is a vector quantity, its direction is in the direction of the current, in the direction of current. And so next year from this vector form you can also observe the direction. We can discuss about the direction of the magnetic field here. So the direction of this magnetic field produced by the small element, we can mention it as it is in the direction of this ideal bar cross r bar, right? That means we can obtain this direction by using our cross product rule. So cross product rule, if you are applying for example for this, so then ideal bar, that means this vector will be like this and r bar is like this. So if you want to find this vector like this, that means magnetic field at this point here, we according to this cross product rule, first we should place the fingers parallel to this ideal bar here, which is along this direction, and r bar direction is like this. So when you are closing this, then we are getting we are moving, these fingers are closing in towards this second vector here, then thumb indicates the direction of this magnetic field. So that is into the plane here, right? So the magnetic field at this point P will be into the plane. Now we can conclude here. So mention that after this, from the above expression it is clear that the direction of this magnetic field, produced by the small element is perpendicular to the plane containing dl bar and r bar. Right? And that means the direction can be obtained by using cross product rule here, and later now I will explain this Ampere's rule also. And before that, let us write here, that means we can find the cross product rule here. You may add that, and the direction of B bar can be found by using cross product rule. So just mention that the direction of the dB bar can be found by using the cross product rule. Now this is only due to this small element here, this Biot-Savart's law is, and if you want to find the magnetic field due to this entire conductor, we need to integrate this here, right? So mention that that thing there here. Therefore, the magnetic field due to the total magnetic field is given by total magnetic field B bar is equal to integral of dB bar. So just we need to integrate that expression here. That means if you integrate this expression, then you will get the total magnetic field there, right? So that integration will be different in different cases. We will do that. Just we say that just by integrating this above equation, you can calculate this magnetic field, total magnetic field you can calculate there, right? So that is this Biot-Savart's law here. So the magnetic field expression, magnetic field to the small current carrying conductor. This is an important formula here. And as I said, 90% of the problems in this topic will be based on this law only. And it is like our Coulomb's law in electrostatics. So based on the Coulomb's law, we can derive the electric field expressions, different expressions we derived there. And similarly, based on this only, we derive the different magnetic field in different cases here. So, right? So that is such an importance is there for this. And so now let us discuss clearly about this direction of the magnetic field produced by this current carrying conductors here. So as I said in the beginning of this moving charges itself, in this topic like electromagnetism or this moving charges, or next we discuss about EMI, in all these the directions will play an important role here. And most of the students will get the confusion regarding the directions only. So if you are understanding, finding the directions clearly, then you can solve all the problems based on this very easily. So now see this direction of magnetic field here. So the direction of B bar. So the direction of B bar. So now here there are different rules actually here. As I said, the first thing is Oersted discovered current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field, and now later this Biot and Savart's gave a mathematical expression to find how much magnetic field is produced. And next, to find the direction of the magnetic field, there are different laws over there. I think in school level you might have this learn about these directions there, like swimming rule will be there, screw rule will be there, and Ampere's rule will be there. So out of all those, the Ampere's law is the simplest one. So I will explain this Ampere's law here. In the previous class itself we discussed that. I will explain now in detail here the magnetic field direction here. One thing is we can find by using this cross product rule. So instead of that, we can also find by using this Ampere's rule here. So first mention that, first point here, the direction of B bar due to a current carrying conductor, can be found by using the cross product rule. As explained above. That means in the previous expression we discussed that as explained above. It can also be found by using Ampere's right hand thumb rule. Ampere's right hand thumb rule, right? That means that is called, because Ampere's rule is Ampere's law is another law is there. Like later, now it is Ampere's right hand thumb rule. And so now for this, first we are discussing about straight conductors here. This is for straight conductors. So straight conductor, that means if the current carrying conductor is like this, it is a straight wire. Now the magnetic field we need to find here. So the magnetic field due to this current carrying conductor we need to find here. So for that, as I said in the last class, if you are imagine that if you are held, that means this current carrying conductor is held in our right hand, such that thumb indicates the direction of the current. Then this curl of the fingers will indicate the direction of this magnetic field here. The curl of fingers indicates direction of the magnetic field lines. So that means the field lines will be there, concentric circles around these conductors here, right? Now the tangent drawn to that field lines at any point will give the direction of this magnetic field. Is it clear? The tangent drawn to you will get a circle around this. At any distance if you are taking, there you will get a circle around this conductor here. So that means if you want to find a magnetic field, direction of magnetic field at any point, there we need to draw this tangent there, right? So that means now here according to that, if you are taking any point on the right side here, the direction will remain same. Any point on the right side, the magnitude will be different at different points. We will derive an expression for that with the help of this Biot-Savart's law. So just we are discussing about this direction here. So if the current is flowing like this, here I am taking one point here. Suppose this is the point P. Can you say the direction of magnetic field at that point P due to this current carrying conductor? So as I said, the current is flowing this upward direction here. So the this curl of fingers will be there like this. So here this side the field lines are entering into the plane here. They are entering into the plane, or you may assume a circle like this. So here the circle is entering into the plane here. So right. So that means from this what we can conclude here is the magnetic field here is into the plane. The magnetic field there is into the plane. So at any point on this side you will get into the plane only, not only at the point P, any point on this right side here, right side of this conductor if the current is flowing like this. And similarly if I consider a point Q here, this side, if I consider a point Q, then here the field lines are coming out here. That means these field lines are coming out of this plane here. So right, so that means the circle will comes out here. These field lines are coming out here. Therefore the magnetic field here will be out of the plane. So similarly at any point this side you will get this magnetic field will be out of the plane here, right? Suppose if you are reversing the direction of the current, so I will draw here. If you reverse the direction of the current here, suppose current is taken inwards, this is P and this is the point Q if I consider. Now say the direction of the magnetic fields at point P and Q. So that means now here the magnetic field at this point P, just apply this right hand rule here, the right hand thumb rule. So only right hand you need to take there. And so then that means here the current is flowing here. So here the field lines are coming out here. This side the field lines are coming out on at the point Q they are entering here. At the point Q they are entering. So then here you will get the magnetic field inwards. And here you will get the magnetic field out of the plane. Right? So like that you need to answer here. So like suppose if I consider this a current carrying conductor is placed like this. And suppose take the point P and point Q like this. Now say the direction of this magnetic field here. So the direction of magnetic field at this point P is now again right hand thumb rule, field lines are coming out here. At point P they are coming out and at point Q they are entering here, right? So that means now here point P they are coming out of this plane and here they are into the plane, right? So now I will give the directions and you need to write those, identify the directions there. So now suppose current carrying conductor is held along east-west direction. Current carrying conductor is held along east-west direction. Then find the direction of magnetic field at 4 points, above the conductor, below the conductor, and that means this side, south side of the conductor, on north side of the conductor. At those 4 points, find the direction of this magnetic field, right? When the conductor is along east-west and the current is flowing from west to east. Current is flowing from west to east. Now in that case, identify the direction of magnetic field produced by this conductor at the above, at a point directly above this conductor, below the conductor, south side of the conductor, on north side of the conductor. Now similarly, the current is, suppose I am taking from the south to north. The current carrying conductor is placed along south to north, right? And there also the magnetic field again at the 4 points, above the conductor, below the conductor, now west side of the conductor, and then this east side of the conductor. At those 4 points you need to find, right? So next, the another task is like the current is flowing vertically upwards here. This is placed, a current carrying conductor is placed vertically. Now this current is flowing vertically upwards. Now identify the direction of magnetic field at a point on the 4 directions there, like east, north, west and south. Take the 4 points at in the 4 directions there and identify the direction of the magnetic field when the current is flowing in upward direction, right? So identify this and you may check by reversing the directions there. That means in the first example, like I said, west to east, you may take east to west and you may verify that. You should get opposite directions there everywhere. So like that. That means now if you are identifying these directions, then you can answer the directions very easily there. So try to answer these questions what I mentioned there. Is it clear? So next. So that is for the straight conductors there. So for straight conductor, the direction of magnetic field produced by the straight conductor can be found easily by using this right hand thumb rule. And whereas sometimes you will get the situation like a circular conductors there. So for circular conductors in the sense these are closed loops. It may be circle or square. Finally conclusion will be same there. So like if the current carrying conductors are there like this, if the closed loop is there here, so current is flowing like this in clockwise sense. Now we need to identify the magnetic field produced by this closed loop here. The magnetic field produced by closed loop at a point inside. That means at the center. Let us identify there. So now for this we need to reverse the direction of these 4 fingers here. So that means again we apply the same right hand rule. Now in this right hand rule for curved conductors, 4 fingers indicates the direction of the current, then thumb indicates the direction of the magnetic field here. Just here for this right conductors, thumb indicates the direction of current, then this 4 fingers indicates the direction of this field lines, magnetic field lines. The tangent drawn to the magnetic field lines will give the direction of this the direction of the magnetic field at that point. So for curved circular conductors, write that for circular conductors the magnetic field lines, that means for circular conductors the Ampere's law states that if curl of 4 fingers indicates the direction of magnetic field, then curl of 4 fingers indicates the direction of current. If curl of 4 fingers indicates the direction of current, then thumb indicates the direction of magnetic field. So now let us take this example here. So current is flowing like this in clockwise sense. Now our 4 fingers indicates the direction of the current. Then thumb indicates the direction of magnetic field here. So the direction of magnetic field will be here into the plane. Is it clear? So the magnetic field here we are getting like into the plane. So that magnetic field will be perpendicular to the plane only will get here. Perpendicular to the plane you will get, and that will be into the plane. So the magnetic field lines will be into the plane. And whereas if you are taking the current is, that means if you are taking this current is flowing in opposite direction here, like in anti-clockwise direction if current is flowing. Now simply you will get in opposite direction here. So that means field lines will be there like this. Current is flowing like this. Curl of fingers will indicate the direction of current. Then thumb indicates the direction of magnetic field, which is out of the plane. So that here the magnetic field will be out of the plane here. Is it clear? The magnetic field will be out of the plane. So just for this curved conductors, you can simply apply this right hand rule again like this. Simply four fingers indicates the direction of this current, then thumb indicates the direction of the magnetic field. And here actually in this we need to remember that these magnetic field lines what we are representing, those are always closed loops, right? The magnetic field lines what we are representing here, as I said in the last class, these are concentric circles here. That means these field lines what we are discussing here, these are concentric circles in a plane perpendicular to this conductor here. These are lying in a plane perpendicular to this conductor here. If conductor is there like this, now these lines are these circles are lying in that perpendicular plane here. So they are always closed loops. Magnetic field lines are always closed loops you will get. Whereas electrostatic field lines are open. That means electric field lines are open. And now here in case of this, we are representing like either into the plane or out of the plane here. Here actually the thing is the lines of force, if you represent here, the lines of force are there like this. So here they are entering here. Here they are entering means this side they will come out here. You should remember this. That means here what we are representing is inside the coil only. Inside the coil they are entering here. When they are entering inside the coil, then outside the coil they will come out here. That means here they will outside the coil. If I ask the direction of the magnetic field, you should remember that it will be exactly opposite to that inside. Here the field lines will enter here and there the field lines will come out here. That means simply if I represent the coil in this plane like this, even horizontal plane if I consider there, if the field lines are there entering this side and they will come out here. If they are entering this side, they will come out like this. So that means the field lines will enter inside. If they are entering inside, then the field lines, that means if the current is flowing there like this, if the current is flowing like this in horizontal plane circle if you are taking like this, there the current is flowing like this, so magnetic field is inwards. So here inside the ring they are entering, the field lines are entering that ring. So outside if you are taking a point, they will come out here. So similarly here also, if the magnetic field lines here what we are representing is thumb inside this. So inside it is out of the plane. Inside it is out of the plane means these lines will come out here and they will enter here. So they will enter here so that they form a closed circle. So always around this they will form the closed circles here. Not a single circle, concentric circles will be there. Many infinite number of field lines will be there, right? And so that means here just you need to remember the direction what we are getting by using this right hand thumb rule is a magnetic field direction inside the closed loop here, right? So then magnetic field outside the closed loop will be exactly opposite direction. So just simply we need to answer that it is, if it is inwards inside, then outside it will be out of the plane, because just it is a closed loops. The magnetic field lines are closed loops. That is about the direction of this magnetic field here. And next let us see about this application of this Ampere's, that means Biot-Savart's law here. Magnetic field due to a straight conductor. And before that you need to observe, write a note here. This magnetic field what we are discussing is a relative. It is a relative thing here, because we mentioned already in the beginning of this topic. So if a charged particle is moving, suppose if I consider a charged particle Q here moving with some velocity V1, right? Now suppose I am taking this observer A who is at rest. And next if I consider another observer here B and who is moving with the velocity V1 with respect to that inertial frame. And here another observer I am taking here, he is moving in opposite direction with the velocity V1, right? Now suppose if I ask about this magnetic field produced by this observer with respect to A, B and C, with respect to, let's suppose this observer is C here. So then this observer A will absorb that magnetic field here and observer B will absorb the zero magnetic field, because this particle with respect to this observer, the particle is at rest. right? Because both are traveling in the same direction with the velocity v. So that the observer B does not observe any magnetic field produced by that point charge here. He observes only electric field. And observer C will observe that because there is some relative velocity will be there. Even though magnitude of the speed is same, there is some relative velocity is there. So observer C will observe that. So just mention that magnetic note, write that as a note. Magnetic field produced by the moving charge is relative. That is, if a point charge q is moving with velocity v with respect to an inertial frame, and consider the three observers A, B, C. A is at rest, B is moving with velocity v1 in the same direction of the charge, and observer C will move with the same speed v1 in opposite direction. Then the point charge will produce a magnetic field. With respect to the observers A and C. But magnetic field produced with respect to the B will be 0. Magnetic field produced by the charge with respect to B is 0. Because the charged particle is at rest relative to B. Next, let us consider another example. Let's suppose this is a current carrying conductor here. So it is carrying some current I like this. So now we are taking I in opposite direction here, right? Because the drift velocity of the electron I am taking in this direction, electrons will travel opposite the direction of this current. So that means current is flowing like this here. So the velocity of the electrons will be in opposite direction there, right? And so now according to our conclusions previously what we discussed, it's a current carrying conductor, so it will produce a magnetic field, right, with respect to a stationary observer. That is, now here I am taking an observer here. I am taking an observer who is traveling in the same direction of this electrons like this with the same velocity Vd, drift velocity. So that means if I are assuming an observer is traveling in the direction, then with respect to this observer, electrons are at rest, right? So magnetic field produced by these electrons should be 0, right? But here the observer will still observe the magnetic field here. So that means here this current carrying conductor will produce a magnetic field according to our Biot-Savart's law with respect to a stationary observer. That is first thing what I am saying here, right? So it will produce a magnetic field, and the direction also you can mention here. This side it will be out of the plane and this side it will be into the plane because current is flowing inwards. Now what I am assuming is a person is traveling in upward direction here with the velocity Vd. That means in the direction parallel to this conductor with the same velocity as that of the drift velocity of the electron, so that the electrons will appear at rest with respect to him. Now can he see the magnetic field? Can he observe the magnetic field? So the answer is yes, he will observe the magnetic field. Can you say that? Can you explain the thing here? So definitely we can say that he can't absorb the magnetic field produced by the electrons, definitely, because of the first point what we discussed there, because the electrons are relatively at rest here. But the thing is, when the person is moving here, the ions, the positive ions which are static ions, that means lattice points of this conductor, there appears to be moving with respect to him, because here actually some positive charge will be there here, right? That means positive ion will be there here. Some positive ion, fixed ion will be there, because the electrons are coming out of the conductor, means because the electrons are coming, free electrons means definitely some positive ion will be there inside that material. So that positive ion is a fixed ion actually. It cannot move inside the solid, right? That atom will become an ion, and that atom will be a fixed atom, so that positive ion cannot move in any direction. But with respect to him, it appears to be moving in opposite direction here. That is a relative velocity here. The velocity of this positive ion with respect to this observer will be like in opposite direction. Just apply the relative velocity here. Velocity of the positive ion with respect to this observer O is velocity of the positive ion minus velocity of the observer we need to write. So velocity of this positive ion is 0 actually with respect to the ground, minus this velocity of this observer is Vd here. So that means it is minus Vd. That means for this observer, this positive ion appears to be traveling with the velocity Vd in opposite direction. So that is the relative velocity here. So the relative velocity will be Vd will be there in opposite direction here, right? So with respect to him, all the electrons are at rest, but positive ions are moving in opposite direction there. So that these positive ions will produce a magnetic field, the same magnitude and the same direction also. So actually current is flowing like this. So the magnetic field will be out of the plane with respect to an observer on the ground. Now for him the positive ions are flowing like this, so the magnetic field will get the same direction there. Just so mention that point also. Consider a current carrying conductor. Consider a current carrying conductor in which electrons are flowing. With the velocity Vd, drift velocity. Now consider an observer who is traveling parallel to the conductor, with the same velocity Vd in the same direction as that of electron. Then with respect to him, electrons are at rest, and so they does not produce any magnetic field. But with respect to him, the positive ions appears to be moving with velocity Vd in opposite direction. With velocity Vd, and so they will produce a magnetic field. Of same magnitude and direction, observed by a stationary observer. So next let us write this here, magnetic field due to a straight conductor. Magnetic field due to a straight conductor. So that means, as I said, in the Biots, based on in this topic, 90% of the problems are based on the Biot-Savart's law only. So in this Biot-Savart's law, we derive a basic two expressions here: magnetic field due to the straight conductor and magnetic field due to the circular arc. And if you remember these two expressions, you can answer the almost in that 90% of the problems. What I said, you can answer like 85% of the problems you can answer based on the only two formula. What we are going to discuss now. One is magnetic field to the straight conductor, and the other thing is magnetic field to the circular arc. So here I am taking a straight conductor of finite length here. That is the first case what we are taking here. This is a conductor of finite length. So conductor of finite length. So it means here the thing is, we consider this is a conductor of finite length here, carrying some current I, right? And then this is we are taking a point D here, that means a point P which is at a distance of D from this wire, perpendicular distance. Now this D is, right? And so now here we need to take a small element here. the magnetic field due to the small element at this point you need to write here. The magnetic field due to the small element at this point. Is it clear? So this is our dl element here. So I am taking this expression as like this is suppose say dy, this is y, let us consider here this distance, and I am taking this as dy, right? And then this angle, suppose I am taking this angle as some theta here, this angle will be d theta, right? And so now we need to apply the Biot-Savart's law here. First we need to apply the Biot-Savart's law. Is it clear? This is a conductor here carrying some current I, and we are going to find the magnetic field at the point P, right? So the magnetic field, this is our point P here, I will represent here. This is a magnetic field P here. So at that point now we are going to find this magnetic field. So for that, to apply the Biot-Savart's law, we need to take a small element. I am taking the small element like this. So first we need to write the magnetic field due to that small element here. So this distance I am taking it as some r, right? So then by Biot-Savart's law, dB is equal to magnetic field due to the small element mu naught by 4 pi into ideal sine theta. First I am writing the formula here so that we can apply that formula here, right? So this is our formula. Therefore now in this case this dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into I into dy. That element we are taking as dy. And now can you say what is this theta value here in this problem? This is the formula. This what I mentioned is the formula, Biot-Savart's law. So in Biot-Savart's law, actually what we mentioned is if you are taking this dl element like this, so this is the angle what we mentioned is angle between this dl bar and r bar here, right? So that means this is dl bar direction is in the direction of current. So here also dl bar direction will be there like this in upward direction because current is flowing in upward direction. So that angle will become this angle here, right? So this is the angle between, this is the angle what we need to substitute instead of the sine theta there. So now can you say that angle here, how much that angle we need to substitute this? So this angle is nothing but 90 plus theta, right? Because this angle will be 90 minus theta you will get because this is theta. So this is 90 minus theta. So this angle will be 90 plus theta we need to substitute. So that angle we need to substitute here. So this is sine of 90 plus theta by r square. So this is the application of this formula for our case, right? So now just we need to simplify this equation here. So let us see the simplification of this. So mu naught by 4 pi into, so what we can write is I into dy into sine of 90 plus theta means cos theta you will get by r square, right? Let's suppose I am taking this as equation 1. Now let us consider this triangle here. Then from this triangle you need to write some things here. From figure what we can write is y is equal to d tan theta we can write. Is it clear? Y is equal to, we are going to convert all the variables into in terms of theta here. Here different variables are there. Dy is variable, theta is variable, and small r is also variable. So three types of variables are there. So we are converting them into in terms of theta. All the variables we are going to convert into in terms of theta. So to convert that, this is our y value. So dy first I am eliminating here. So just by using this tan theta in this triangle, tan theta is equal to y by d. So y is equal to d tan theta you can write. So this you can write it as dy is equal to d into, so secant square theta d theta, right? So that is the differentiation of the tan square theta there. Next, and next you can write in terms of this r value here. In terms of the d you can write here. So the same cos theta value we can write as, so cos theta is equal to d by r you can write. So from this r value we can write it as d secant theta, right? So now let us substitute all these values in this equation here. So from equation 1, dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into I into dy. The dy is nothing but d secant square theta d theta into cos theta, right, by r square. That r value is d secant theta whole square. So therefore this dB value is mu naught by 4 pi into I into, let us see this, now total problem we are converting into in terms of this theta here. Here secant square theta you will get, and here secant square theta you will get, that will be cancelled. So that means I by d is a constant, so I am writing here together here. That means mu naught I by 4 pi d. This is one expression here. So the remaining thing is only this cos theta d theta you will get, right? So remaining that cos square term will be, secant square term will be cancelled there. So now to get the total magnetic field we need to integrate here. So the total magnetic field is given by, so total magnetic field. So this will be equal to dB is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi d into integral of cos theta d theta. So here the next here we need to take the limits here. This taking that limits is very important here, and you need to understand this here very clearly. So generally we express these limits in terms of these angles. We express these limits in terms of these angles here. As I said, that is a finite length, the conductor of finite length. So you may consider these limits like this. So what I am taking here is, so here I will draw this diagram here once again so that you can understand those limits here. So that means here I am drawing this diagram here, this conductor length, finite length. So this is the thing what we are taking here. So this is the conductor of finite length we are taking, this is the d, right? So that means now previously what we defined this angle theta is in the above this perpendicular here. So that this angle I am taking as some alpha, and this direction we are taking as some beta here, right? So that means alpha is defined in the direction of this theta here. This theta is defined like this. Above this perpendicular we are defining there. So now alpha is defined in the same sense, so the alpha value you need to take positive, and a beta is defined below that. So beta value we need to take that negative value here. So the limits we need to take here as from minus beta to alpha. Is it clear? So then minus beta to alpha, those are the limits we are taking here. So therefore what you can write is B is equal to mu naught I by 4 pi d into, so cos theta integration will be sin theta. So the limits we need to write from minus beta to alpha, and so finally you can write this expression as mu naught I by 4 pi d. So this is the important expression what we are going to derive here, sin alpha plus sin beta. Is it clear? So now this is the magnetic field due to a conductor of finite length. So this is the one of the formula what you need to remember in this topic. One of the most important formula what you need to remember in this topic. So mu naught I by 4 pi d into sin alpha plus sin beta, right? So there I is current and d is the perpendicular distance. In Biot-Savart law you need to observe here. In Biot-Savart law this r is not the perpendicular distance here. It is just a distance of that point from that element which is making certain angle theta. But in this expression this d is always perpendicular distance only. Perpendicular distance of the point from the conductor only you need to write, the d means. So mention that if you want to here, mention that d is a perpendicular distance of the point from the conductor, and alpha and beta are defined like this, right? So now here sometimes you will get a situations like where both alpha and beta are in the same direction, both are above that. If both are above the normal, that means you will get certain situations like here alpha is above the normal and beta is below the normal here, so that limits we are taking from minus beta to alpha. So sometimes you will get the situations like where alpha and beta are in the same direction, above the normal only you will get. So that means then in such a case no need of taking this beta value here, right? That means that case is nothing but like this. So mention that point also there here. So for this note this diagram I will rub this here. So if the case is there like this, so conductor is up to here only, right? But our point is somewhere here. That means finite conductor is up to here only, but our point is here. We need to find the magnetic field at this point here. So then what we will do is we will extend this. That means just we draw this extension line here, so that this will be the perpendicular distance here, perpendicular distance of this point d. And then next this alpha and beta are the angle made by the line joined from the tip of this wire, from the end of the wire with the normal. So end of the wire with the normal means, So this is one angle here and this is another angle here, right? So this angle is, suppose say this angle is alpha and this angle is beta. Now we can observe that both are defined in the same direction there. Both are defined above the normal only. Both are defined above the normal only, right? So in that case, here there is no need of taking that negative sign here. Both are in the same direction. If you are getting such a situation, then both are defined in the same direction, then this is beta to alpha directly you can consider there. Then sin alpha minus sin beta you will get. So that means for this situation, so you may mention this formula also. So for this situation here, that means after this is a basic formula. Most of the cases we will use that only. Rarely such a problems will be there based on that also. That means mention that after this, if alpha and beta are defined, in the same direction, that is both are above the normal, in the same direction, that is both are either above the normal or both are below the normal, then magnetic field is given by, so therefore it is mu naught I by 4 pi d sin alpha minus sin beta we need to write. So few problems will be there based on this. So in that case, you need to apply this formula here, right? So this is the magnetic field due to this conductor of finite length. And so now there will be situations like from this you can discuss the different cases here. I will explain all those cases here. Just to note this. So this is a for finite conductor we defined there. So now suppose if you are taking the case like magnetic field due to this infinite conductor, that means if you are taking semi-infinite means the conductor will be there like this. We are taking a point here at a distance of d, or near this one end of the conductor. First let us write here. So that means B, what we are taking is this B is at one end of conductor. At one end of conductor, if you want to derive here, so see this expression here. Now this is a current carrying conductor. So this is another angle what we need to measure here, right? So this is a current carrying conductor. This is the distance d. So that means in this case, so simply what we can mention here is, so beta is equal to 0. Is it clear? Our previously what we defined beta is, so understand the meaning of this alpha and beta clearly here. So alpha is angle made by the line joining from this one end of the conductor to the point with this normal. This is a normal here, perpendicular distance d. And the beta is the angle made by this another line drawn from the other end of the conductor with this normal. Now what we are taking is, this is the end of the conductor and we are finding only at one end of this conductor only here. So when we are finding near to the one end of conductor, these two lines will coincide with each other. This D line, that means perpendicular distance, and this beta line what we are drawing, those two lines will overlap on each other. They will coincide with each other. So they are coinciding with each other means what we can say is this beta value is 0. That is nothing but what I am saying here. See, if beta value is 0, then you can write this magnetic field expression directly there. Therefore, this magnetic field what we can write is mu naught I by 4 pi d into sin alpha, right? So this is the expression here where sin alpha you can write this as sin alpha is equal to, you can mention this as, suppose say L if we consider, this is our alpha value here. So that L sin alpha you can write as L by under root of L square plus D square. That means instead of giving that angle, sometimes they will give that sides, then sin alpha value can calculate like that, right? And so next, similarly, if I consider this is a conductor of semi-infinite length. Semi-infinite length means one end tends to the infinity and the other end will be finite. So then let us see the magnetic field in such a case. So the next case is that one here. At one end of, that means magnetic field at one end of semi-infinite conductor. So semi-infinite conductor means then this is the case here. This is one end here. So this is the perpendicular distance d what we are taking. Now this end tends to infinity here. So that's a very long length is there here, infinite in the sense. Suppose if you are taking this length is say 10 centimeters, and this length if you are taking starting from here, if you are taking 10 meters length, so then you can take that as infinite. So infinite in the sense comparatively it should be large. That is the meaning of that infinite here. So now here this is the current is flowing here, current I is flowing. Now we need to find the magnetic field at this point here. So at this point we need to find the magnetic field. Just we need to substitute our alpha and beta values here. So that means now here alpha tends to pi by 2 and beta value is 0. So beta, because we are at one end, so the line drawn from the end and this perpendicular will coincide with each other, so that this beta value will be 0. And alpha tends to 90 degrees here. Why alpha tends to 90 degrees means that we are saying that that line tends to infinity there. Suppose if the wire is, the length is there here one end, then this is the angle alpha. If the length is increased up to here, then you can observe that this angle will increase. If length is increasing further, then the angle will increase. So like that, if the length tends to infinity here, this angle tends to that 90 degrees we consider here. If the length goes on increasing there, then this angle also increases. The angle maximum it can increase up to 90 degrees there. That is when tends to it, that means when y tends to infinite, then we consider that alpha value tends to 90 degrees there. Therefore the magnetic field in that case is given by mu naught I by 4 pi d into sin pi by 2 plus sin 0. So just we need to substitute alpha and beta in our basic expression there. Therefore this formula is mu naught I by 4 pi d. So this is the expression for magnetic field due to this semi-infinite wire at one end, right? And so next let us consider if both ends or tends to the infinite. If both ends tends to infinite, so this is field due to conductor of infinite length. So both ends tends to infinite now, and this is an important case here. Both the end tends to, that means in this finite conductor, this is the important case here. So this end tends to infinity. So this end tends to infinity, and this end also tends to infinity here. So let us take minus infinity and plus infinity may consider infinity, tends to infinity. And so then here let us say current is flowing along this direction here, and d is a perpendicular distance. So at this point we need to find here the magnetic field at this point P. Right? So that means again here just you need to mention these angles here. So that means in this case what we can write is here alpha is equal to beta is equal to pi by 2 you can write, or tends to pi by 2 you can write here. Right? Because of the same reason. This end tends to infinity means then this angle tends to 90 degrees, and this end also tends to infinity means that end also tends to 90 degrees here. So both alpha and beta tends to 90 degrees. When both alpha and beta tends to 90 degrees here, so what we can write is mu naught I by 4 pi d sin pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2. So that this expression you can write this as 1 plus 1 2 you will get. So mu naught I by 2 pi d you will get. So this will be the magnetic field due to this infinite conductor here. So infinite conductor means that is the expression. You need to remember all this. Just if you remember finite, you can write all these values. So but generally we will more frequently will get this infinite length there. So mu naught I by 2 pi d. And next here we may get the case like in the direction of the conductor, directly either in front or behind the conductor here. So that means next field at any point in the line of conductor. So in the line of conductor, if you consider there. So in the line of conductor means, suppose as we discussed in case of point charge also, suppose this is the current carrying conductor here. So then a magnetic field either at this point P or magnetic field at this point Q here. So in the line means lying that those points are lying in the same line. So those points are lying in the same line as that of this, right? So if you are choosing such a points here, so the magnetic field at that points will be 0. So the magnetic field at this point P is 0 and magnetic field at the point Q is also 0 here, right? That we discussed already in case of point charges also. That means the sin theta value what we mentioned in the Biot-Savart law itself, sin 0 you will get, right? So sin 0 value will be 0 you will get, and so magnetic field due to this right conductor. That means Biot-Savart law equation. Ideal sin theta by r square we are writing, mu naught by 4 pi into, right? So this sin theta is nothing but angle between this dl bar and r bar. Now if this point is lying in the same line of this conductor, the angle between these two lines will be 0 if the both are coinciding with each other, so that this magnetic field at that point will be 0. So just to mention that magnetic field at any point in the line of current carrying conductor is lying in the same line of current carrying conductor is 0, right? So this is a point Q and this is a point P. Those are examples there for that, right? So these are different cases regarding this, and in the next class we will discuss the circular arc also, and after that we can discuss some more problems based on these combinations here, right? Thank you.